Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vanity. Ezel back Card Fight Vanguard deck profiles. I hope you enjoyed the come subscribe and stuff, shall we? This time we are covering the new stuff from MushiKing. Great. And we also have the reveal of new Greedon, who appeared in my dream 2 days ago. Should I be worried? And I don't know why I feel worried about this. We don't have new Greedon yet as of the time I'm recording this, but by the end of this video we will have new Greedon, and I'm curious to see if its skill fits my dream or not, just out of curiosity. Anyways, let's go and get the start, shall we? Because we've got a lot of reveals today, because we already have 24 reveals, and we're not even started with the second set of Monday reveals. First up, we have Recite, Aspect, Dragon, Grade 3, Twin Drive, Persona Red 13k base, Auto Rear Guard when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you haven't played a normal order this turn, current boss 1, 2 to 2 normies from your drop zone, put them to soul, and this unit gets back for the battle. I kept wondering why they kept printing cards that want to play normal orders in their turn, and I was like, maybe it's just like every deck's getting a new normal order. It didn't go into my mind that A, Regalia pieces were normal orders, and B, most likely every deck is going to get at least one Masques. So there's that. I don't know why they didn't click in my mind that that was the reason why these were happening, but it's happening. Either way, Recite Aspect is not a horrible grade 3, especially because it actually gets any 2 normies into drop from soul. Into soul from drop, which is great for a very specific grade 3 we'll get into later. But cool, solid card, 2 of a 3 of, which reminds me of a point that I feel like Bushy is supporting a lot of random grade 3s, which we'll get to the reasoning why I think that later. Next up we have Whitelist Dancer Salsa, grade 1 boost, 5k show, 8k base, okay, bias, 100%, and then Auto Soul, when you play a normal order, again with the normal orders, you may call this card to rearguard circle, and if you call it a card, choose a card from your drop soul and put it to drop. So basically Soul Boss wanted to call herself. It's not horrible, but at the same time, it's like, is it really worth it? I feel like there are better cards that just soul charge and call themselves from soul, or any decks that can just call themselves rearguards to soul, from soul to rearguard. But all around, it's not a bad card, and again, I am biased towards this, so if I run this, it's going to be as a 2 of tech just to prove an argument of point. Then we have Drag Ritter Quasam, grade 2 UNICEF, 5k shield, 10k base, act rearguard circle, bind this unit, choose up to 2 face-up cards from your opponent's bind zone, put them on the bottom, put them on the bottom of the opponent's deck in any order, and if you chose 2 cards for this effect, choose one of your Vanguards with 5k on turn. Does Shoji Doji bind face up? I, honest to God, forgot about Shoji Doji till this moment. When I first saw this, I was like, what deck binds? And I literally forgot about Shoji Doji right until now. But, cool. Being able to take 2 cards and something to bottom is great, because that, well, yes, it means your opponent's getting more cards back into their deck. It gives them less access to them if they can call stuff out of bind, or they benefit from stuff in bind. So all around, not a bad card, and it can buff up your own decks that bind stuff, like Gandiva if they happen to have bind stuff, or Shoji Doji. So, actually, then again, Gandiva doesn't benefit, though, because Gandiva needs face down, but it's still a good card nonetheless, so easy 2 over 3 of tech for me in those decks. Then we have reprints of these. I genuinely had like not an epiphany, but like deja vu when I first saw this. And I was like, there's no way in hell these aren't old cards as reprints. And I looked them up, and apparently they have slightly different skills than the original, but I was right that these are like D versions of these cards. Anyways, we have Rain Elemental Pichan, grade 10 stuff, 5k shield, 9k base for the new D Revival section. Auto GB1, when placed on rearguard circle during your turn until end of turn, all your opponent's rearguards in the same column as this unit cannot lose their abilities, and they cannot gain new ones. So all around pretty solid, and nullifies abilities for free, basically better Meteor Flare. Then we have then again, Meteor Flare also does the same thing but to the entire board, and it does it for free. Never mind, I take that back. Meteor Flare is better. Then we have Light Elemental Peeker, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 7k base. Yeah, you had 5k shield. Continues rearguard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. And auto rearguard GB1. When your Vanguard with the original power of 11k is attacked, choose one of your Vanguards and gets plus 2k to end of turn. Okay, I don't remember what the Crest does for Chronojet or Messiahs, but if they don't change the original power, then doesn't that technically mean that the Vanguard could be a 15k base during the opponent's turn? Just saying. Either way, it's all right. Oh, it's not a hard once per turn either, because it says with an original power of 11. Huh. I feel like I'm misunderstanding this card. I'm understanding it perfectly right, and this thing is broken. Either way, nice card. 2 of tech, I guess. 3 of tech. Then we have Light Element Honoly, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 6k base. Continuous rearguard. All rearguards cannot attack the Vanguard if it's the 5th battle or more, unless they counterblast 1 is paid. So basically, CB1 to attack more than 5 times a turn, which is great. It slows down multi-attack decks, and it very much hurts multi-attack decks that need CB. Then its other skills, act rearguard, will remove this unit from the game until end of your opponent's next turn. You get all your opponent's rearguards cannot attack the Vanguard if it's the 5th battle or more, unless they pay counterblast 1. So while yes, it's the same skill, difference is it's now a CB2. All around, it's a pretty solid skill, and this is actually what made me realize these cards were all reprints, because I literally was like, you look fucking familiar. This one looks familiar, but you look extremely familiar. So I went to go look it up, and apparently it was a real thing beforehand. But either way, Honoly is just a solid grade 1. It forces out 2 CB for 5 more attacks, and it really only fucks over multi-attack decks, but it slows them down enough to where either they lose all their CB or they get nothing out of this. So easy 3 of for me if you're playing against like a very heavy multi-attack based deck. Then we have MushiKing cards. Okay, listen, to anyone that's gonna call me out on any mistake I make, for the record, I don't even understand how the fuck these things work. So, not saying I'm smart enough to understand how most things work in Vanguard in general, but don't come killing me if I get something wrong, because I really don't know what the hell I'm describing in this next few card sets. So first up, we have King of Beetles, MushiKing, grade 0 boost, Vakashosis Kefes. That is such a badass sounding name, and you give it this like level of artwork. Like, come on, you're really gonna do this to me? Auto when rolled upon by a grade 1 Mushi, get a King of Beetles, Mushi, Crest. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna call it Musashi. I know it's pronounced MushiKing. I can very much read it, but it's like very hard for me not to want to say Musashi. So I'm gonna say Musashi. We all know what I mean, but it's more comfortable for me to say Musashi, even if I know I'm wrong. Get a MushiKing Crest, and that's pretty much it. What does that MushiKing Crest do? King of Beetles, MushiKing Crest. Continuous, you cannot ride cards other than Mushis, nor can you play set orders or place set orders in your order zone other than via the abilities of this crest. Auto, when you get this crest, search your deck or hand for up to 1 card each of hit move, pinch move, and throw move, aka arbitrary bullshit for rich people, all of different grades, and place them into your order zone. Then if you search your deck, you shuffle it. So here's the thing, unlike the other cards that are like the lore things where when you place them from hand you get a draw out of it, this is essentially you either get them from deck, or if you place them from hand you are losing a card for each one you place. So if you place all 3 from hand for whatever reason that may be, you are minusing 3. Don't ever do that unless you really have no other choice, but I don't even think in any situation that would be worth it at all, unless you have like the very specific ones in hand that you want in that game matchup. And its other skill is active once per turn. Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 and add up to 1 Mushi or move card from among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. And then the final skill is Auto, when your Mushi attacks, rest one of your move cards with grade equal to or lower than your Vanguard and use that card's move. Now you may be asking, what the fuck does any of that mean? Well, thankfully Bushi gave us a nice explanation of what the hell this is. About MushiKing cards. Mushis are units with no abilities and instead use moves to fight. So essentially, things like this, they are fucking vanillas. So they're units, and they have normal unit stats, they're just vanillas. And the moves are basically like anime moves, and like they're the 3 different types. So here we go. 1 represents the moves that they can make. Rock is hit, scissors is pinch, and paper is throw. So I guess like on this one, like this is going to be an indicator of like pinch, hit, or throw. And then 2 represents a special move. Use cards with special moves to activate bug special abilities. So I guess 2 would be like, it would be over here, I guess. And then 3 represents the bug's technique, wherever that is, so over here. If you have the required technique, you'll get more of the added ability, and that's pretty much all that matters. Do not ask me how to read these, because I frankly don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Then we have our grade 1 MushiKing cards. Again, all of these are vanillas, but they are kind of required, and they seem to all have the same running. Actually, this one seems to have better stat lines, right? Wait, no, who has the better stat lines? Is it this one? Yeah, this one has the better stat lines. It has a 120 over here. And it has like a this is the lowest yellow, but yeah, I'm not gonna bother trying to fucking read these. Take that as you will. Those are your grade 1s, and they have like their different stats over there. Then we have our throw move. Yeah, our throw move for grade 1s. Super Tornado Throw. God, all these sound like anime moves. Set order throw, move, auto order zone. When this move is used, perform all the following. Technique 80 or higher. So I'm guessing this one, I believe, or like these, one of those 2 numbers. Anyways, until end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. Great. Throw move, until end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. Special moves, Super Tornado Throw. Until the end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. Then, by counterblasting 2 and ditching a copy of this card, until end of battle, the attacking unit performs drive checks. So, it can give rearguard drive checks, and all their skills get plus 5k power. Great. All around, not bad. Able to get numbers, and also, so I'm guessing like if you have like one of these on the board and it fits all 3 criteria, I guess it can proc off. I don't fucking know how it works, but cool. Gets drive checks, gets numbers. What's not to like about it? I'm pretty sure like all of them happen at once, so plus 15k in drive checks. Sure. I don't know what the hell I just did on Google. Okay, Google's doing its own thing. I messed something up. Well, that's a me problem. I guess we're stuck with this now unless I like find a way to move this. There we go. It's out the way. Anyways, next up we have Super Kingfisher Hug. Grade 1 set order pinch. Move auto order zone. When this move is used, perform all the following. Technique 80 or higher. Till end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 50 or plus 5k. Pinch move until end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 5k. Special move Super Kingfisher Hug until end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. Then by card bossing 2 and ditching a copy of it, all your opponent's vanguards cannot stand during the next stand phase. What the fuck? So this is just Mega Colony. Instead of giving us an actual Mega Colony line, they just made some random crossover bullshit. Again, no offense to any MushiKing fans, but the ability to stun a Vanguard. And so all these seem to be Persona Blast based so far, just saying, but cool. An additional plus 15 and you can nullify stands, I guess. Why the hell not? Then we have Super Dangun. That just reminded me of a character called Dan from an anime I watch who just happened to hold a gun at you and just say, Super Dangun! Anyways, set order, hit, move, auto order zone. When this card is moved, perform all the following. How did I know it'd be another 5k power for techniques 80 or greater? Hit move. Oh, guess what's another 5k power? Special move, Super Dangun. Until end of turn, the attacking unit gets another 5k power. Then, by counterbossing 2 and ditching a copy of it, retire all your opponent's rear guards. Okay, so we have a board nuke of Vanguard, Paralyze, and Drive checks. No offense to the Drive check one, but these two seem astronomically better because one shuts down the Vanguard, and then the other one just shuts down their board. Cool. I like all of these. This is my favorite in terms of art, and yet in terms of skill, these two are my favorite, so take that as you will. Then we have our grade 2 MushiKing cards. I'm not going to go over the stats because I don't understand any of this, but go ahead, read them if you will. Pause the video. Then move on to our grade 2 moves. Sidescrew Throw, grade 2. It's a throw move. Move out of order zone when this move is used, and all the following. Technique 50 or higher to end of turn. Okay, I'm just going to stop saying 50 or 5,000 because clearly all of them get 5,000. Oh, of course, this one doesn't get 5,000 for some reason. To end of turn, the attacking gets plus 5k power. Throw move to end of turn, the attacking gets plus 5k power. And special move, Sidescrew Throw, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's backward units and change the attacked unit to it. And then by discarding one copy of this card, for that battle, the attacking unit also attacks your opponent's Vanguard. So basically, it can kill a column or just kill 2 pesky units at once. Great, it's not bad. Granted, it can hit the Vanguard guarantee, but it can really hit anything along with that. So I guess it's a nice option for getting rid of pesky rear guards, though this one seems a little bit better. Then we move on to Rolling Clutch Hold. Grade 2 Pinch Order. Move out of order zone when this move is used. Perform all the following. 50 or higher technique. To turn the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. Pinch move until to turn the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. And then special move Rolling Clutch Hold. Soul Blast 1. Perform. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and cannot stand during their next stand phase. And then they cannot intercept on the turn. Then by ditching a copy, perform it once more. Okay, so while this one only paralyzes the Vanguard, this one can, in theory, paralyze 2 units at once. All around, it's not bad. It's a solid card, and it only costs a Soul Blast just to paralyze once, but it's okay for what it is. So I'll give it like a 1 of, 2 of. I think a lot of these are going to end up being 1 of just because of what they are. Then we have Dragon Attack, the coolest sounding one, yet the dumbest looking one in my opinion. Set order, hit, move, out of order zone. This move is used, perform all the following. Take a shot every time I've said that exact sentence word for word this episode so far. Technique 50 or higher. Until end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. Hit it, move. Until end of turn, the attacking unit gets plus 5k power. Special move, Dragon Attack. Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards. Kill it. Then discard 1. Choose another opponent's rear guard. Kill it. Okay, so the grade 1 ones in my opinion seem better because nukes everything. Granted for a higher cost, but still. Granted for a higher cost, but prevents the Vanguard from standing, and then gets drive checks. In my opinion, the only effectively better one is just this one, because it can kill multiple things at once. But even then, sometimes extra drive checks is what wins you games, so take that as you will. Then we have our grade 3 MushiKing cards. Really didn't expect the grade 1s to be the only ones I liked out of all of these. Rolling Driver. Grade 3. Set order. Throw. Move. Out of order zone when it's moved. Perform all the following. Technique 20 or higher. Until end of turn, the attacking gets plus 5k power. Throw move. Until end of turn, the attacking gets plus 5k power. Special move. Rolling Driver. Counter boss 1. Until end of turn, the attacking gets plus 1 crit. Then discard a copy of this from hand. Until end of turn, the attacking gets plus 1 drive. Okay, so it has triple drive and double critical. You know, that's my favorite throw move so far because it gets drive checks, it gets critical, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. Adds pressure. Probably the throw move I've run over the other two. Now we have Bull Lock. Grade 3, set order, pinch, move, auto order zone. When this move is used, perform all the following. Technique 20 or higher. Until end of turn, the attacking gets plus 5k. Pinch move. Until end of turn, the attacking gets plus 5k. Special move, Bull Lock. Counter boss 1. Until end of battle. Until end of battle, your opponent cannot call Sentinels from hand to guard circle. Then by dropping a copy of this, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards. They cannot stand during the next stand phase, and they cannot intercept as well. Okay, again, the better, in my opinion, of all 3 of them, because straight up, it can lock out rear guards just as much as this one over here can. And not to mention the fact it can nullify Sentinels, again, putting on more pressure. I think the grade 3 ones are going to be the best, but who knows? Let's read the last one. Machine Gun Punches. Okay, in terms of naming, that is actually my favorite convention. Grade 3, set order, hit, move, auto order zone. When move is used, perform all the following. Technique 20 or higher, to end of turn the attacking unit plus 5k power. Hit move, until end of turn the attacking unit plus 5k power. Special move, Machine Gun Punches. At the end of the battle this move was used. Counter boss 1, stand the attacking unit, it loses 2 drives per turn. Then by ditching one of these, you get another drive. So essentially, -1 drive if you Persona Blast. So, all around, it's not bad, because it's an extra Vanguard attack, and then if you drop one, it gets a drive. Though in my mind, it should have been, it only loses 1 drive, and then if you drop a copy, because I don't think giving them twin drive would have been that bad, but yeah, I guess there's also a card that raises drive too. So I guess the grade 3s are the more aggressive one, grade 2s are the more like stagnant, holding the opponent down one, and then grade 1's like the decent combination between all 3. So take that as you will, and I'm not going to go any further into that description. Finally, we're back to normal units. I swear to God, they bring up more MushiKing cards. I'm going to die of depression. First up, we have Long Breath Fairy, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. You'll see what I mean with them supporting random cards with this thing. Act Drop Zone, if your Vanguard is Shieldfisher in its card name. Card Boss 1, call this card to rear guard, and it gets plus 5k power. For those of you that don't know what the fuck Shieldfisher is, I'm not going to pull it up on my computer, but for those of you that don't know what that card is, it is that grade 3 with 200 Persona right, 18k base that literally can only attack if you called rear guards other than from hand this turn. I am not joking with you when I say so far they've given, I think, a total of 4 random grade 3 support. And if you're wondering how 4, well, first up, this is Shieldfisher. We had the one from Musashi Armor. We had one from last week whose name I forgot. This one supports Barfomedes, you know, that one grade 3 that, like, wants a bunch of grade 3s in Soul. But also this thing. Exaggerate Draco Kid. Grade 1 boost, 5k show, 8k base. First up, that art is fucking smooth. I love like the wing design and the fire breath. I just love everything about this. Continues rear guard, guard circle, soul. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, it gets plus grade 2. So you know it could work for Favrino 2 being a grade 3. But also, auto when it's placed on rear guard circle, if you have a grade 3 in your soul, you may soul charge 1. Then if you soul charge a grade 3 by this effect, choose a grade 3 card from your drop zone and put it to soul. Again, I say, it works for both Favrino and Barfomedes because except in my opinion, it works for Barfomedes more because Barfomedes can send it from rear guard to soul. But either way, it works for both because it counts as a grade 3 in soul, it's soul charge you1, and then if you soul charge a grade 3, both decks run a decent amount of grade 3s, just Barfomedes a little bit more, you get another grade 3 to hand. I'm really questioning why Bushy is upgrading these decks now. Like, don't get me wrong, I am happy that they are giving us like legit support, but like my thought process here runs down on the reasons why are you doing this now? Like, first up, give us like an actual set of support. Like, make a set called Random Support Collection, some bullshit number 1, where every deck that's just random gets like 3 actual cards of support, and whether it's ride line or not for the first set, and then we just kind of see where we go from there, just so like the decks get upgraded. But that's going to be Bushy's problem. We all know Bushy ain't going to do it. But honest to God, if I get a say in this, I am 100% holding Bushy to that. If that is a prize for a tournament, that is the one time I will ever willingly sign up for a tournament just to see it happen. 4 of in either of those 2 decks. Next up, we have Signals of Erosion, grade 0 Blitz Order. Play this card if you haven't heard Rigrum Vanguard. Choose one of your rear guards without a Draco Tree marker on it, put a Draco Tree marker on it. Then choose one of your units that's being attacked and gets plus 10k till the battle. And then if your Vanguard was good for Gila, it gets the chosen unit gets plus 20k instead of 10k. All around, I gotta say this card is pretty great because A, you can play it the second you, like, at all. Like, you can play this whenever the fuck you feel like it, whether on your Griffo seat or not, because it's a free 10k shield guaranteed. And then you get a free Draco Tree marker. So finally, we can get Draco Tree markers while people are at grade 0. I literally said before in Stoicaea, in my Stoicaea profile, that there will be a way eventually to proc this off, and they finally fucking made it. But also in the sense that once you hit grade 3, it's a free 20k shield. Either way, it's great, and it's a guaranteed at least 3 up for me, because it's 3 free Draco Tree markers, possibly even a 4 past that. But I just want to say, like, my reaction to walking into this. I was just looking at a YouTube video, I'm not going to say what it was, but I was looking at a YouTube video where someone had just said, "Listen here, shitbug," and as I was opening up Discord for the reveal, I just went over to it and was like, haha, it reminds me of Resident Evil line of just, "Get off of my train, shitbug," and I proceeded to quote it. But as I got to like, "Get off of my train, shitbug," I see the card, and I'm like, "Holy shit, it's a forest fire!" And I started laughing out loud, because I did, like, just the change of thought from that to this. You know, never mind, 3 or 4 of them in my Griffo Gila decks. This thing is fucking beautiful in terms of art, and its skill is great. And let's get these last reviews shorted up for the day, but before we get started, I just want to say, this is also a Calamity card, by the way, like I assumed it was, so, cool, good to know. Anyways, on to the reveals. First up, we have Clunky Stroller, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto when it's placed on rear guard circle. If you have a Vanguard Greedon on its card name, Soul Boss 1 and choose a Desire Devil in your drop zone, put it to Soul, and this unit gets 5k for the turn.
okay, not bad, because essentially just swaps one card for another, so, like, you could, in theory, like, if your Boshakus ended up in damage zone and you healed them out, you could send them from drop zone to soul, which is all around pretty good, so, like, it cuts out the birds needed in the situation, so it's not a bad card, and it can also send the Stinks, I think it is, you know, things like Soul Blast itself, call, or, like, bind itself, call a copy, though then again, it binds itself, so never mind, but either way, it's not a bad support card, but it's not amazing either, so I'm willing to give it a 2 up for that. Then we have Desire Devil So-So, and I can't figure out what the fuck this thing's supposed to be useful for. Great turn, 5k shield, 10k base, continues deck. If you have a Vanguard Greedon on its card name, this card is also regarded as the same name as all the cards in your soul with Desire Devil in their card names. So, I guess, like, for Boshaku, because this is the only thing I can see it being useful for, when Boshaku uses its skill to search itself, you can search this instead. That's the only thing I can see it being useful for. Someone please tell me if I'm wrong. And the continuous rearguard to guard circle. If your soul has 3 or more cards with Desire Devil in their card names, this unit gets with 5k power and 5k shield. So, like, the deck's playstyle immediately changed with just, like, the introduction of this one card, and, well, just the new Greedon in general will change the deck style. We'll see that in a second, but, like, being a 15k base and a 10k shield is all around not that bad, because it has guarding power. It just feels like it's lacking in some other reasons, but its art is good, and I like how, like, this is either like some moonlight spotlight or just a spotlight in general, and it's all around really solid looking, so I think I'm gonna give this a 4 of. If the bird didn't look so ugly, it'd be a 4 of I'd be okay with mentally, but whatever. And then we have this thing. Okay, first of the art along with, like, the card text just looks great together. Like, that's always something I worry about when card text and arts come together, where, like, one looks good with the other, but sometimes one looks weird without the other, etc. This one also looks pretty fucking solid. Anyways, Avaricious, Demonic Dragon King, Greedon, Masques, Grade 3 Giant Persona 32k base. Continuous with this card can only be written from a grade 3 with Greedon in its card name, so the standard Masques. Continuous Vanguard, the number of cards your damage zone for you to lose becomes 7, so it's literally the exact same skill as the original Greedon, which is, I'm starting to think this card is specifically why they won't let us, like, hard ride from any other card, because this would basically make any other deck just, oh, you die at 7, but fair enough. And then its skills, the one that are partially good and partially bad, in my opinion. Active Vanguard, once per turn, move a Greedon card and its different card name from your hand, soul, or drop zone. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You have to 1 Desire Devil from one of them, reveal, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Okay, listen, this was back in the OG days with G, where, like, every archetype had their own specific trigger. I'd say this would be, or not trigger, specific PG. I'd say this would be pretty good, because that'd be basically be a top 7 search, add a PG to hand. But here, this is a top 7 search. Granted, add anything to hand, but it can't even add itself because it specifies Desire Devil, which this thing is not. So it can't add Persona Rides. Hell, it can't even add the OG Greedon, so if you wanted to swap ones, you can't do that. And you can't even, like, you're only forced to search out its support, which again isn't bad, but it's only from the top 7. I feel like every other one has, like, plus more. Like, Leonord has gotten something from drop and has killed a rearguard. Dragjord has gotten a crit and just literally cut its, like, required cost in half, more or less. What are the other ones? Zorga did its own fucking thing with, like, basically either making you get a rearguard or actually extended your plays. And then I forgot what the other, oh yeah, Baiko. Baiko's 50-50, but you get my point. And then Auto Vanguard, once per turn, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If your soul has 3 more Desire Devils in their card names, put 3 standing rearguards to soul, stand this unit, gets plus 5k till turn. Okay, so it's not bad, because you're almost just by having your ride line, you're guaranteed this. The only way you're not gonna have this is if you're playing against Prison or Bushi released another way for them to take cards out of your soul. But this is a guaranteed constant restand, and it allows you to build up soul, which is great. But first up, it's a once per turn, so unlike the OG, you can only restand once. So while, yeah, you're decking yourself out less, it also just gets less power overall. The other one gets plus 15, possibly. This one only gets plus 5. And because it's a different name, if I remember correctly, Bushaku doesn't work for this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bushaku is, like, name restricted, so it's not bad, but I feel like the whole point of this is, unlike the other ones, you're supposed to go into this, and then you're supposed to go into the other one again. I don't know, I feel like this deck is weird to me, but take that as a 4 of, I'm confused. I think its skill is fine, it just doesn't feel as, like, powerful as I think it should be, but whatever. Then we have some more reveals. So, okay, first up, the reveal wasn't here, but we got news on the heal triggers for the reprint set, and basically they're the G Guardian heal triggers, you know, like the ones that are like when you drop them for the cost of a G Guard, buying that card and another heal trigger in order to countercharge one or soul charge one, and they're keeping their skills, but their shield and trigger type is getting upgraded, so they give 10k power instead, and I believe their shield gets upgraded to either 10k or 15, so all around pretty solid. Actually, they're already 10k, so probably like 15 or 20. And then we have Harmonics Messiah over here, grade 4 triple drive, 16k base. Okay, I didn't realize that the first time I read this. Continuous, you may only have one copy of this in your G zone. Stride step, choose your one more cards, so some being grade 3, stride to face down, etc. Auto, when it's placed on Vanguard Circle, choose any number of your locked cards, unlock them, and then choose the same number of your cards from your hand as the number of cards unlocked by this ability, drop them. And then auto Vanguard or G zone, when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle or at the beginning of your turn, if this card is face up, your damage zone has 2 less cards, and no new cards were placed into your damage zone during your opponent's preceding turn. Put top card of your deck into damage zone and draw a card. I want to let this be clear, and we're about to see it in the rest of the skill too. This thing's skill straight up more or less comes from Zero. A little bit different, but it more or less comes from Zero, which is great that as Zero dies, they give us a homage in this, but cool, free damage that doesn't auto-trigger effects and gets a free draw, but it procs off like half of the fucking cards in Angel Feathers, so that's gonna be interesting. And then auto G-Zone, when your grade 1 is placed by writing from a grade 0, if you win second, reveal this card and put a Guardian Shield ticket into your hand. What is a Guardian Shield, you may ask? This. Grade 0, Blitz Order, choose one of your attack units, it gets plus 20k to end of battle. So if you run the starters from V, when you go second, this is in your G zone, not only do you get a draw and a quick shield if you're running the starters from V in premium, but then you get an additional 20k shield. So you have a total of plus 25k shield going second, and you get another free draw on top of that. You got 3 free cards just by going second. Good job, Bushy. Anyways, that's it for the reveals this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next week, we are getting a new ride line for someone from Youthquake, which I thought was a Taki line, but apparently it's a Brancate line. And also, we're getting Roro this week, so all around going to be pretty fun. So I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me your opinion on this one, because I am very curious about this. And I'll see you on this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join Discord, follow Twitch, and don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.